everyone, I hope you are doing so well. I'm Thandolwethu. I am a biotechnology graduate from the University of Johannesburg. If this is your first time clicking onto one of these videos, I hope you stay the full course. Okay, please leave a cute little comment. If you have something to share, something to add, please also leave it down. Maybe somebody else would learn and benefit from it. English is betraying me already at the beginning. So this is going to be a quick one. I decided to share just a few interview tips for virtual interviews because these are tips that helped me during my first virtual interview because I didn't even know where to begin. And I hope that these will be helpful for you. Some of them are just general knowledge tips. Some of them are things that are important, but maybe you didn't think about. Okay. So I wrote down a few notes here, and please don't mind me looking down because I wrote down notes here so that I don't forget. So the first one is to take it as seriously as you would take your physical interview. You know what I mean? So dress up and be prepared. And when I say dress up, I mean fully dressed up, as you would when you're going to a physical interview. Don't just dress up the top half and then wear pajama pants or pajama shorts. No. Dress up the full attire so that you can get into that zone, that mindset that this is actually an interview. I am in an interview and I must take it seriously. You know, it's not like a chill, laid back thing just because it's virtual. It's a real interview. Okay. So be prepared, be on time as you would in person. Don't let them wait for you. You must click on before them so that when they get onto the virtual meeting, you are already there waiting for them. Number two is to download the meeting, app or software. So they'll usually let you know beforehand, before the interview, that we will be conducting the interview on Microsoft Teams or on Zoom or on Skype. People are still using Skype. Yeah, they'll let you know whatever the interview is going to be on and download that software beforehand. So download the software beforehand and press it, click, lapo, press it and see how it works. You know, just get a feel of it. If you can, maybe call somebody beforehand to actually see how it works. You know what I mean? Just to get the feel of it so that when you're there in the interview, you do not have any surprises. You are prepared because you know the app, you are prepared. This one it helped me because I didn't know where to begin, but you can use a smartphone or you can use your laptop. You know what I mean? I didn't trust my laptop, so I didn't use my laptop because I have a very, very, very old laptop. So I didn't trust the connectivity and I didn't trust the picture quality and I didn't trust the camera itself. So I just preferred to use my smartphone and it worked as well as any laptop would. You know what I mean? So yeah, just make sure that you have a good connection and you have good picture quality and buy enough data or Wi-Fi. Just make sure you have good Wi-Fi connection and it's enough Wi-Fi connection. I used data at that time. Yeah, I didn't use Wi-Fi at that time. I used data at that time. So I used about 2 gigs, 3 gigs. So to be safe, I would say just have a minimum of 3, 4, 5 gigs of data because you don't know how long the interview is going to last for. My interview lasted for an hour. You don't know how long it may last for. It can go on for 1 hour, 30 minutes, depending on the people who are interviewing you. So you don't want to be having connection issues or data iphele in the middle of the interview while the interview is hot and then to depend. You don't want that. You don't want that. This is number 4. Make sure no one will call you or no one will message you. Just make sure there won't be any incoming phone calls or incoming messages. I think, if I remember correctly, because this was a couple of months ago, on Microsoft Teams, when I used the Teams, I went on the app beforehand and then I played around with it. And I think there was a feature that allowed you to mute incoming messages or mute incoming phone calls so that they don't disturb the interview. You know what I mean? So, yeah, just click and see if that app will have that feature or any feature to block messages from coming in, because they will disturb your meeting, your interview. This one is important. Look directly at the camera to maintain eye contact. This one is very tricky because the person who is interviewing you, their picture will usually show at the bottom of the screen. So you will be tempted to look at them at the bottom of the screen while they are talking. So now the entire time in the interview, you're looking here at the bottom of the screen instead of looking directly into the camera. You know what I mean? So just make a note somewhere to remind you to look directly into the camera and not at the person interviewing you. You can, however, which worked for me, while the person is talking, maybe you want to read their lips and to see what they say. You can look at this bottom of the screen while they're talking to read their lips. But when you respond, you look directly at the camera to maintain that eye contact, because you don't want to spend the entire interview looking at the bottom of the screen and not looking directly at them. You know what I mean? Yeah, so look into the camera. Make a note of it somewhere. Another one, going back to making the notes. So make notes and print out your job description, right? So use sticky notes, like small sticky notes, something like this. And then if you're using a laptop, this might be more effective. At like the screen of your laptop at the back, put these notes like this here. The noise, sorry for the noise. Put the sticky notes here behind the laptop screen with keywords that will help you remember certain points that you want to make, and I say print out the job description because you want to use the words that are included in the job description. So usually they'll send you the job description beforehand and they'll say in the job description, we want somebody who's hardworking, who's flexible, a good team player, and you want to use those words, to want to include them somewhere there in the interview. Then you'll make the note here, instead of now reading off of your job description and looking at it during the interview, because there's a lot of words and there's a lot of writing, there's a lot of reading. Rather print it out, highlight these important keywords, and then write it on your sticky notes and paste them behind the screen. Or if you have a wall behind you, you can now put these sticky notes on the wall to help you remember. But don't read. Do not read, because you know what I mean? They will see that you're reading. So obviously that's where the preparation comes in. You're going to prepare these questions beforehand. So what I did, which helped me, the general questions that they'll ask you: tell us more about yourself, where do you see yourself in 5 years, why should we hire you, blah 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 blah. I know they're going to ask those questions, and they did. So I wrote one sticky note: where do you see yourself in 5 years? And I wrote all the keywords that I want to use in that answer. Tell us more about yourself. This one was the first sticky note because it's always going to be the first question. Put the sticky notes there in the order that you think they'll ask the questions in. Obviously, it might not work out that way, but it helped for me. It really worked. So tell us more about yourself, and then you write the keywords that are there on the job description: hardworking, good team player, organized, flexible, blah 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 blah, and then you use that to describe yourself. So for each question, you have its own different sticky notes, and then you paste it there to help you remember. Okay, so that's that's a very useful tip that I saw on YouTube that helped me, and I hope you will use it too for your next virtual interview. Thank you. Another one is, lastly, make sure that you have a solid background. Make sure that you don't have like a wardrobe, a wall, a door. Just make sure you have a solid plain background. I'd prefer just like a white background or maybe a black, but just like a solid plain background that doesn't have things going on at the back because it's very distracting. So you can maybe use a sheet if you can, maybe behind the wall, the wall behind you, use a sheet maybe, if that's going to work. Another thing is location. Make sure that where you are going to be conducting the interview, there's no noise, firstly, and there's good lighting, because that's very important, because they need lighting to be able to see you. And most people don't have, like, what are these things? Ring lights and things like that. Obviously, we're not influencers, but just make sure that you're working in a place that has good lighting, where they can be able to clearly see you, that you are a human being, and it's not blurry, and it's just good picture quality, and there's no noise. Make sure there's no distractions, there's no people walking in and out of the room while you're busy conducting the interview. We don't want that. Yeah. So yeah, I hope those are all the tips that I wanted to mention. I hope you use these tips. I hope they're going to be useful to somebody. And I hope you ace that next job interview, that virtual job interview. Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous, because they're not there to actually see you, but also take it as seriously as you would take a physical interview, because it is serious. Yeah. Anyway, thank you and good luck with your next interview, and wishing you a very productive week ahead. All the best, and blessings and good vibes to you. Bye.